Jai Shri Ram. If you are a Hindu, your surname should be at the start of your name. For example, my name is Muchimili Venkata Kausalya Rama Karuna Shankar. Okay. Now, Muchimili is my surname. Actually, it is the name of a village in Andhra Pradesh. And people of all kulams, I don't use the word caste because caste does not exist in Hinduism. Lord Risley, that scoundrel, gave us this caste and we have accepted it. I think it's high time we throw this word caste into the dustbin. We have Kula, Jati, Varna, and Gotra. Kula, Jati, Varna, Gotra. That I have already explained. If you want, I will explain later. So in Hinduism, there is no caste. Tell them to go to hell. So Muchimilli Venkata Kausalya Rama Karuna Shankar. It's a compound surname. My name comes at the end. The philosophy in Hinduism is that we are insignificant compared to all that came before us. That means our Pitrus, the Devas, and obviously Krishna, Rama, who are our eternal companions as per the Veda. So, unfortunately, in my case, you see, because of colonization, I too started using my surname at the end, Krupashankar Muchimilli. And some time back, I realized, maybe a year ago, that this is wrong because that is a proof of my mental colonization, colonial mentality, colonial mindset, which simply means that you have accepted that the culture of the invader is superior, and therefore with your now self inferiority, self inflicted inferiority complex, you have started writing your name like this. So my humble request is, if you are a Hindu, please revert back to the original and also find out, because Hindu names are deeply spiritual, philosophical, adhyatmika. This word adhyatmika is an untranslatable word in English. The English word spiritual is a pale comparison. Spiritual. Actually, spiritual has something to do with spirit. Spirituous is a different word anyway. Spirituous means alcohol. Spiritual. Now, their concept of spirit or soul is itself very, very ridiculously untenable, because for nearly 100 years, the Vatican, the church, the Christian church, they debated whether women have a soul, because well, I do not know exactly where in the Bible is it mentioned that women perhaps don't have it, and therefore they raged, they debated, and finally, I believe, obviously because of the pressure from women, finally the church decided, okay, let's give them a soul. And so women were given a soul, and then Christians decided, okay, women also have a soul. Otherwise, originally they believed that women do not have a soul. And then the worst thing is, they believed that blacks, the Africans and the dark-skinned people and all pagans, heathens and infidels who deserve to be proselytized or killed. And Deuteronomy 13, 6 to 13. Please read the Bible. Deuteronomy, please note down. Deuteronomy 13, 6 to 13. This is just one instance. There are many instances in the Bible which where it clearly says that people who worship other gods, or if anybody asks you to come, let's go and worship other gods, they should be stoned to death. They should be killed. So, now I strayed away from the topic, or did I? So, dark-skinned people or pagans don't have a soul. Don't have a soul. And finally, they also, I believe, debated, and finally they gave Africans also a soul, dark-skinned people. You know why? Because there is a Hamitic curse. Noah's son Ham uncovered Noah while Noah was drunk and sleeping, and some speculate that Ham also did something worse than that. So Noah cursed Ham that all his descendants will become black, dark-skinned, and therefore they will be slaves. So this is another very interesting story, for want of a better word. Not that I don't have better words, because I am unnecessarily, you see, there could be filing cases even for this, and our system is bending backwards to appease these fellows. So this is the problem. Hamitic curse, Hamiticurse. Hamitic curse means in the Bible slavery has been institutionalized, and unfortunately Lord Jesus Christ also, instead of abolishing or condemning slavery, he in fact gave advice to slaves that they should be nice even to cruel masters. I therefore consider Abraham Lincoln a prophet because he is the man who passed the law abolishing slavery once and for all. It is called the Emancipation Proclamation. I think it was January 1st, 1863. Emancipation is a word. Emancipated means liberal, freed. So, Emancipation Proclamation. The Emancipation Proclamation is a law passed under the leadership of Abraham Lincoln in on January 1st, 1863. Please check up. So, this abolished slavery once and for all in America and obviously in all the world. Of course, there are some critics who say no, and there's some crap is also there. But that let's forget that. Abraham Lincoln had the courage and he paid with his life. He was killed because the southern states wanted slavery, and in fact many Americans even today and then swear by the Bible that slavery is justified. This is their justification for slavery is found in the Holy Bible. So Abraham Lincoln decided otherwise. He abolished it and he was shot dead because in the south they had these plantations and they needed slaves, and they found justification from the Bible. Finally Lincoln was assassinated. That is the history for you. Now, this entire narrative I am trying to tell you, we don't have any slavery concept in Hinduism, though we use the word das. मैं आपका दास हूँ, दासी हूँ, रामदास, कृष्णदास, so all these. And servants are sometimes referred to as das. Even in the, our itihasas, our scriptures, sometimes these words are found, but it has got nothing to do with the institution of slavery. The word institution means a custom. Slavery has been institutionalized by both the Holy Quran and the Holy Bible. So I have no hesitation in declaring that much. So now let us get back. So where did I take off from? So this surname, in my case, somewhere in the school, you see, I studied in a missionary school. Somehow I do not know how it happened. The Karuna became Krupa, and I am being called Krupa, and many people mistakenly thought that I am a Christian, but I am not a Christian. I have nothing to do with Christianity. In fact, I have all sympathies for Jesus Christ. In case if he was a real being rather than a figment of somebody's imagination, if he had been a real being, he would have been a very reasonable man, and we could have probably discussed with him about why slavery should have been abolished altogether, and why this baptism should not be compulsory, and why also people should not be proselytized and killed, because truth is a pathless land, like Jiddi Krishnamurti said. And there can be any number of paths to God. As long as the person is a good human being, he doesn't harm anybody. Thou shalt not kill is there in the Bible also. So thou shalt not kill is an absolute, categorical, unconditional statement, which means you should be a vegetarian. No killing of chicken, nothing at all. So that would be the ultimate Christianity. I would be the first person to subscribe, and I would be following Jesus Christ if he had said this much, right? So anyway, that's what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna does not tell you to proselytize or kill the fellow if he is not converting. Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhaktyupahrutam Ashnami Prayatatmanah. So he does not tell you to kill. So Krishna fits the perfect description of a God, because I haven't seen God, but I can imagine what God can be. And Albert Einstein also said, never lose your sense of wonder, sense of mystery. So Albert Einstein's conception of God is also very interesting. He says something like this. Anyway, I'll take a diversion. See, Albert Einstein said, his description is like this. Imagine if a child goes into a big library full of books, stacked with books up to the ceiling. Such libraries I have seen. I hope you also have seen. So huge libraries. I have seen Aligarh Muslim University Library. I was invited there for a speech some 35 years back. So it's a huge library. Here also we have. So and there is a smell of must. All this mildew, books are gathering. No maintenance. No. So Albert Einstein said, just imagine if a toddler, a child, maybe a 5-year-old, walks into a huge library with books stacked up to the ceiling. The child would definitely think that all these books might have been written by somebody, and all these books might have been organized and arranged in some particular order. That is how God is. That is Albert Einstein's conception of God. So that means these laws of the universe are all the books written by God. And the child, we are children. So Newton also said, I am like a little boy picking pebbles on the seashore. Newton's nephew asked Newton, uncle, the whole world thinks you are a genius. What do you think of yourself? On his deathbed. And Newton confessed that I am like a little boy picking pebbles on the seashore. And what does that mean? There are umpteen, I don't know, thousands, tens of thousands of beaches across the globe. And on all these globes, there might be millions and millions of pebbles. So Newton said that I just picked up one small stone. I don't think so much of myself. What a great man indeed. So though I have some objections, Newton was a fanatic Christian, because Newton's biggest blunder was accepting the Bible's chronology and deciding that the age of the earth is about 4,500 years. There was another Bishop Isher, you can check up, Ussar or USCR. He actually fixed the date of the earth some 4,200 years ago on a particular Sunday at 9 o'clock or something. God cut the ribbon and inaugurated the earth, something like that. It's the most ridiculous thing. Bishop, I think his name is Ussar or Isher, USSER. Please check up. That's the most ridiculous concept. Unfortunately, Newton, such a brilliant genius, accepted the Bible chronology. Starting from Adam, you see, he added up. Adam lived for 900 years, and then you see Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel, one of his sons. So Cain lived for so and so. He added up all these things, and up to Abraham. From Jesus to Abraham, there is some 2,000 years, and from Jesus to now is some 2,000 years. So totally 4,000 years. Newton declared that the earth is 4,000 years old. Even geniuses are vulnerable to this kind of dogmas. So that is, in my opinion, Newton's biggest blunder. Albert Einstein's biggest blunder is arrogantly asserting that nothing can move faster than the speed of light. And then we have tachyons, we discovered, and the, what is that experiment? Bell's experiment. Bell's experiment proved that subatomic particles communicate faster than the speed of light. And tachyons is the name given to certain subatomic particles which move faster than the speed of light. Bell's experiment disproved Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein and Newton both also blundered in thinking, asserting that it is a solid state universe. So we know that the universe is expanding rapidly at an unbelievable pace. So all these things are there. Even the greatest minds cannot. So science has just scratched the surface. There is also something called spirituality, adhyatmikata. I find on YouTube many dingleberries who are criticizing Bhagavad Gita left, right and center because they are devoted to this false god called scientific temper. Scientific temper is indeed a wonderful thing. We must develop it. Article 51A in the Indian Constitution says it is a duty. It is our duty, fundamental duties. There are, I think, 11 or 10, I think 11. Okay. So, fundamental duty number 8 is to develop a scientific temper, spirit of inquiry, humanism and reform. This is wonderful. Everyone should develop it. But does this mean that we should completely jettison, eject, reject, eschew adhyatmika temper? Adhyatmika temper is essential. Just because I have scientific temper, does it mean that I should not have any sense of spirituality and adhyatmikata? Ask these fellows. I don't want to use any foul language because they are using any lot. I feel like laughing at these fellows. It is because, not that they are illiterate. They have learnt a little English and probably they have grown horns because of the colonialization, colonial mindset. And they are intelligent people. Unfortunately, if it is some dumb dingleberry, I can understand. They are using all their intelligence, their crookedness with, cynicality, and for some strange reason, they have nothing but contempt for even Bhagavad Gita and Krishna and Rama. Whereas, what is the ultimate test of the truth of anything, any holy book? The ultimate test of the truth of any holy book is what kind of a human being is it generating. See, of course, on the surface there are some people who look very good because though they are following those desert cults. But scratch the surface, probe them, ask them a few uncomfortable questions, the devil will come out. So, my assertion is very simple. People of Sanatan Dharma, most of them have not read, therefore, we cannot be sure what kind of a people they are. But if they are fully subscribed, in fact, Hindus who are ignorant of the contents of the Bhagavad Gita are still human beings, very good human beings. Why? Because no Hindu would harm anybody without any reason. And if they do, then they have violated the rules in the Bhagavad Gita. They have violated the Vedas. So, we can teach them and hope they will change. We can rehabilitate them. But if a person subscribes to a book that endorses lechery, butchery and treachery, then there is hardly any hope. Anyway, let me leave it there. So, my surname Muchimilli Venkata Kausalya Rama Karuna Shankar. That's what my parents gave me. So, MVKRK Shankar, that's what I write. Now, my dear friends, I hope you look at this first page. John Fitzgerald Kennedy. First, middle, last. Given middle family. 4 middle, sir. So, this is how they are talking about their names. Fine, we have no problem. That is your culture. Why should we Hindus adopt their style? So, please look at this page. Hindu surnames must be at the beginning. That's where what I write. And you see, depending on culture, surname can be at the beginning or at the end. Our culture, Sanatan Dharma, Hindu requires you to put your surname cognomen, Cognomen is the English word. I want every Hindu to master this English language because English cultures, everything said and done, in spite of all the atrocities they heaped on us, all the iniquities, enormities, they, they wreaked on us, wrought on us, WROUGHT. In spite of all that, I see hope because the educated Englishman, the educated, truly educated, not falsely educated. Just because you have degrees, if your mind is closed, you are not educated. So, America is a great land. I am an unabashed admirer of America for the simple reason that the average American has an open mind because their founding fathers were deists, D-E-I-S-T, deist or deism is belief in God but no belief in any holy book or dogma. You can use your brain, your mind to understand God, and that's sufficient. That is a deist. If you can do that, you are a deist. Okay, you can be a theistic deist and you can be a non-theistic deist. All these things are there. Of course, they have evolved a whole lot of theories and all that. But nevertheless, the word deism, deist, I explained to you. So, the founding fathers of America were all deists, barring maybe one or two. So that is why America is a great land, liberal land. Unfortunately, most Americans, are addicted to pleasures to such an extent that their culture has degenerated. According to Arya Samaj, Dayananda Saraswati, America was ruled by Babruvahana, son of Arjuna. So I I have no proof supporting. There are so many. You see, Bharata ruled the whole of the earth and all that. So now let us not stray into that topic. I have a deep and abiding respect for Thoreau, Henry David Thoreau. They have a fad for pronunciations also. They write silly spellings and then expect us to pronounce the word differently. Thoreau. Okay, Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson, transcendentalists. They, Mark Twain, had an abiding respect for India, Vedas, Sanatan Dharma. There's so many such great writers. So, these people and the founding fathers, these people were, the names that I just took were not founding fathers, but they inspired the founding fathers. Thomas Paine, for example, was a very harsh critic of Christianity. His criticism of Christianity is savage. Thomas Paine. So, America is the land of hope. Because at least in America I can freely speak my mind. Not in India, they will file cases against me. So, America should be saffronized. They will really understand the value of Sanatan Dharma. They will realize what a big mistake they have done by subscribing to other cults. And by the way, that doesn't mean Hinduism is a cult. So please put your Hindu surname right in the middle, right in the beginning, sorry, not in the middle. See, we have compound surnames. Please check up. Hindu surnames are deeply adhyatmika. Use the word adhyatmika. and explain why the word spiritual falls short. Spiritual sounds so weak and feeble compared to the word adhyatmika. There is energy in that word. Sanskrit words are so profound. Jai Shri Ram. I hope after this you will also change it. My name as of now is Muchimili Krupashankar. Earlier, when I was a Macaulay Putra, when I was under the effect of colonial mentality, colonial mindset, my name was Krupashankar Muchimili. And I've changed it. I've reverted. I've done Garvapsi. I am a full fledged Hindu, which means I intend no harm, no malice. I don't have any malified intentions for anybody, even my enemy, because I see Krishna, Rama in them. But yes, I will fight. And if it comes to a fight to finish, I will kill the other fellow, or at least try to, because this is the Leela, right? I have no malice for anybody, absolutely nothing. In fact, I pity those people who waste their human, incarnation in trying to find fault with Gita. Jai Shri Ram.